Jimmy needs Jay.
This is Bretto live on YouTube.
The Week in Review, episode 277. We're starting off with Monday Night Raw. Raw is war. More like Raw is pre-recorded. This episode of Raw was taped last week after last week's live taping. This was filmed after the show. A couple of my fans let me know that they filmed 2 episodes of Raw, and I was like, really? And I'm like, wow, it was confirmed. They were still in St. Louis, Missouri, even though they tried not to mention it much, but Cody Rhodes couldn't help himself. He's like, St. Louis, Missouri? And then he exposed it. What do you want to talk about? Either way, this was still a pretty solid episode of Raw, and we are going to run through it right now. Let's go. Opening up the show with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley keeping it short and sweet. She wants to get her hands on Liv Morgan. But who does she get? She gets Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton comes out oddly, basically just warning her about Nia Jax. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then randomly from behind, both of them get attacked by Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. It leads to a tag team match in the main event. Rhea Ripley needed a tag partner, and she chose Tiffany Stratton. Bro, Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley have to team together in the main event. We will talk about it. It was a women's tag team championship match where Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, the current champs, went up against Damage Control's Io Sky and Kairi Sane. We did have Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson on ringside, and they posed as a big factor in Io Sky and Kairi Sane losing this match. They literally blatantly, I think they punched Io Sky right in the face while the referee's back was turned, and then Bianca and Jade take advantage. It's a KOD on Io Sky to win the match and retain the tag team championships. I was like, really? Why are Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend helping Jade and Bianca? Didn't they just beat them, bro? Like, why would you? I don't know if they tried to help them, but they screwed Damage Control out of the titles, no doubt about that. And I kind of wanted Damage Control to win here. I thought they were going to do an angle where Jade turns on Bianca, but it did not happen. Still a pretty solid match, though. I enjoyed some of the moves in this one. Adam Pearce started a tournament for the tag team championships, the men's tag team titles. He wants the Judgment Day to defend them. So he talked to Finn Balor and JD McDonough. He made that happen. And he talked to Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins in 2 different locations. He didn't want them close to each other, otherwise it would break down and put the fans in jeopardy because that barricade broke a week ago. I was like, oh my God. So Adam Pearce is hesitant about giving Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed an opportunity to absolutely destroy each other, and I don't know why he would be. This is a freaking hot match, dude. This on paper just sounds amazing, and this is going to sell tickets. I have no clue why Adam Pearce does not want this match to happen, but he's still contemplating whether he's going to make it official, but he will make it official. It absolutely will happen soon. Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. Start of that tag team championship tournament was the Alpha Academy's Akira Tozawa and Otis going up against the War Raiders. Yeah, no longer the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders. So that little PF's whatever logo, PFR logo, I guess we can confirm that it was the War Raiders. No Valhalla, no Sarah Logan. It was just Eric and Ivar tearing it up. They absolutely destroyed Akira Tozawa with this wicked double team maneuver off the top rope. They took out freaking Otis. They just absolutely killed in this match. It was pretty nice to see the War Raiders back on my screen. They did pick up the victory, and they're one step closer to becoming tag team champions, man. Rhodes was scheduled to appear on Monday Night Raw, and he did. He had his championship. He didn't know really what to talk about. He talked about St. Louis, even though I don't think he was supposed to, because they were trying to keep the location very secretive. But Cody Rhodes kind of wanted to talk about Kevin Owens, I could tell, but he had to talk about Gunther, because that's his opponent at Saudi Arabia, and the crown jewel for the Crown Jewel Championship, which I feel is kind of goofy, but it's going to be going down Survivor Series style, champion versus champion, Gunther versus Cody. They kind of ended this with respect. They kind of shook hands, but not really, because Gunther's like, good luck to me, the real champion. So he's considering Cody as like a secondary champion, which is absolutely not true. If anything, Gunther's the secondary champion. Sorry, Gunther. I really like you, but it's true. But I'm looking forward to their match, but it's just for a goofy title, like the Crown Jewel Championship. Like, that's so goofy. They're never going to hold that, man. I guarantee you, they win that title at the freaking Crown Jewel, and then we never see that title again. Just like the Greatest Royal Rumble Championship. Remember Braun Strowman won that? Where is that title? Kofi Kingston had an opportunity to take down the badass Braun Breaker. One-on-one. This match was pretty basic. Braun Breaker basically wins with a spear. After the match, Braun Breaker looked to get a little more destruction in on Kofi Kingston, but then Xavier Woods is like, nah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. Woods runs down, kind of scares Breaker away. Breaker comes back, starts taking out the New Day, attacked Woods from behind. And Jey Uso runs out and helps out the New Day, takes out his future opponent, which will be Bron Breakker next week. He takes him out, super kick to Breakker, spear to Breakker, and just kind of scares him off. And this proves Xavier Woods' theory wrong. Yes, Jey Uso would have came out and helped Woods, because he absolutely did here, man. So Kofi Kingston was right. Jey would be the first one that comes out and helps, and he absolutely freaking did. He's going to be facing Bron Breakker once again for the IC title, and I have a feeling Breakker's going to take it back, which would not be good, but I feel like it's going to happen. This caught me insanely off guard. We come back from commercial break. They're showing Jey Uso walking backstage with his shirt, his title. He walks into his dressing room, and there is Mr. Jim Uso. Mr. No Yeet. Oh my God, this caught me insanely off guard. I was like partially on my phone. I was like, oh, okay, there's Jay. And then I'm like, oh my God, there's Jim. Oh my gosh, they haven't really interacted like face to face on screen for like the longest time. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, man, probably since WrestleMania. So here they are. Jay basically says in a nutshell, I already said no. Now get out of my face, man, and get out of here. So Jay is definitely not having it. They need Jay now, but Jay is not feeling it. I feel like if Jay loses that IC title, then he will join the Bloodline again, but man, it's going to be tough because all the crap that they put Jey Uso through, they put him through so much, man. Why would he come back so easily? It's definitely going to take some time, Mr. Jim Uso, but this was awesome, man. This was so good. The Miz took on R-Truth one-on-one. I found it really hilarious how R-Truth still thinks him and The Miz are friends. R-Truth shook hands with The Miz before the match, and Miz obliged. He shook hands with R-Truth, but then the match gets going, and then here comes the Final Testament, who kind of distract The Miz. I don't know if that was carrying Cross's intention, but they distract The Miz, allows for R-Truth to roll up The Miz, pick up the victory, okay? So R-Truth hugs The Miz again, then he hugs the referee, and then walks past the Final Testament like nothing even happened. Karrion Kross is like, AOP, get him, send him back in the ring. Miz hits a Skull Crusher finale on R-Truth, and I feel like Karrion Kross has officially made his way and bought some space in the head of The Miz. Does The Miz join the Final Testament? I feel like that would just be so weird. But yeah, Miz is heel, definitely is, and hopefully R-Truth doesn't still think he's friends with The Miz, because he's not. Miz is a piece of crap, bro. Come on, R-Truth. And our main event of the show, where Rhea Ripley had to team with Tiffany Stratton to go up against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. This tag match was actually pretty good. I like Tiffany and Rhea's chemistry, not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty good. Nia Jax spoils the match, though. Here comes Nia, just starts beating up on everybody besides Tiffany Stratton, literally took out everyone. I'm like, okay, there's a disqualification. Nia Jax gets her hand on Liv Morgan and then does the Annihilator to her and then says, Tiffany, what are you doing? Cash in. Cash in. I got her down. I just hit the Annihilator on. This is an easy championship win. Tiffany Stratton takes too much time to think. That allows for Dominic Mysterio to take Liv Morgan and run away with Raquel Rodriguez. I was like, oh my gosh, she had such an opportunity to get that title, but she didn't execute the opportunity. But it was a pretty solid way to end the show. But there's no way that Tiffany Stratton cashes in on Liv, bro. No way. Tiffany Stratton is so going to cash in on Nia Jax. That's the facts, man. It's literally exactly how it's going to go down. I guarantee it. Ain't no way Tiffany's cashing in on Liv, bro. Overall, I thought this was a solid episode of Raw. For being taped, I thought there was some pretty good moments to it, especially the War Raiders returning. That was probably my favorite moment. Really caught me off guard. And then ranking this show out of 10, I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was pretty solid. There was a lot of little promo videos and recaps because they were just trying to kill time because it was a pre-recorded show. But it still wasn't half bad. From St. Louis, Missouri, get exposed, WWE. And now we're going to jump into SmackDown from Columbia, South Carolina. Let's talk about it. Is Roman Reigns once again the tribal chief? Let's find out. Opening the show with Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline. They were talking about everything that Solo Sikoa has built, and Solo Sikoa was addressing Roman Reigns' claims to breaking up the family, while Solo Sikoa thinks he's uniting the family. Jey Uso interrupts, the Intercontinental Champion from Monday Night Raw. Keep that in mind. He's a Raw superstar here on SmackDown, so he's pulling up, confronts Solo Sikoa, and basically just says, man, you're tearing apart the family, in my opinion. I'm the Intercontinental Champion. See all the stuff that I've done ever since leaving the Bloodline, and next time we see each other, Solo Sikoa, it'll be different. I don't know what Jey Uso meant by that. It'll be different the next time we see each other. In my opinion, I feel like Solo Sikoa or some member of the Bloodline is going to screw over Jey Uso this Monday night on Raw when he faces Bron Breakker for the IC title again. They have to. I mean, they got to screw him over in order to get Jey to join the Bloodline, because he still doesn't, because later he would confront Roman Reigns backstage, or should I say, he would kind of walk past the Bloodline, and Jimmy was like all excited to see Jey. He's like, oh, Jey, what's up? And then Roman and Jay, they kind of made eye contact. They still have beef. And Jay Uso says, no yeet. He's still not feeling Roman Reigns. He just cannot get out of his head like all the history that him and Roman have. The first time I think Jay Uso says no yeet, I was like, what the heck, man? It was so cool seeing Jay and Roman just like face to face though. That was truly amazing to see. We saw 2 triple threat tag team matches on this show to determine #1 contendership for the tag team titles. First one was Pretty Deadly, DIY, and Street Profits. This was an amazing triple threat tag team match. I loved the ending to this where I believe it was Montez Ford and Tommaso Ciampa. They both pinned members of Pretty Deadly at the same time, but the thing was, one of the members of Pretty Deadly was legal, the other was not. Montez Ford was covering the one that was not legal, and Tommaso Ciampa from DIY was covering the one that was legal. So DIY and Tommaso Ciampa pick up the victory. They are one step closer to becoming #1 contenders for the tag team titles. Street Profits were rightfully so. They were pissed off. Obviously, they were rightfully pissed off about this outcome. But hey, DIY, they had the smarts. The referee, Jessica Carr, she had it. She called it down the middle, and DIY won. This was a great match. Other triple threat consisted of the Motor City Machine Guns making their WWE SmackDown debut in a #1 contendership match here, or tournament match. It was Bretto and Angel from Legado del Fantasma, and then you also had A-Town Down Under in there. I saw A-Town Down Under, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Austin Theory hasn't turned on freaking Grayson Waller yet. They're still a tag team, bro. Just turn on him already. Oh my gosh, make it a little interesting for us. But obviously, Motor City Machine Guns picked up the victory here. They looked amazing in this match. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do against DIY. That match ought to be great. It's going to be going down next week, and I guarantee you, MG pick up the victory and become #1 contenders. I'm excited for it. Lash Legend went up against Piper Niven one-on-one. Chelsea Green was on ringside. This match was pretty decent, man. I didn't realize how strong Lash Legend was and how actually big she was. She absolutely decked Piper Niven, picked her up Andre the Giant style, slammed her down. 1, 2, 3. Lash Legend beats Piper Niven. You did have the women's tag team champions out in the crowd watching this match. So they're kind of scoping the competition, watching out for Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson, because they've been kind of coming up here on the main roster, slowly but surely. But yeah, this was pretty cool to see Lash Legend take out Piper Niven. Cody Rhodes talked about the new Crown Jewel Championship, and I love the way that they're presenting this title. Like, they bring it in like a gun case. They treat it like it's like real diamonds. I think it's awesome. Cody Rhodes came out there. He was by the belt. He was talking about Gunther. Yes, he challenged Gunther to show up next week on SmackDown so they could go face-to-face and talk about this match that's going to be happening. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, this is basically just a challenge. Cody Rhodes hyping up the crowd, doing him. He's great, man. I love Kevin Owens' little phone promo that I filmed. I believe he was in a vehicle, I think, or he was in some sort of room, but he was talking about how he feels betrayed by Randy Orton. I'm like, bro, you're the one that attacked him. You elbowed him first. Like, why wouldn't you expect them to fight back? Like, oh my gosh. So Kevin Owens is pissed off. He's unhappy with how he's been being treated in the WWE, and he wants revenge. He wants to take out Cody Rhodes, but they're not giving him a match. Randy Orton wasn't given a match against Kevin because I guess it's being dealt with internally. Kevin's repercussions or something for the attack backstage. But I like how they're doing this Kevin Owens heel turn. I think it's going really well so far. Bro, this was so weird. Nia Jax was supposed to team with Tiffany Stratton to go up against Bayley and Naomi. And dude, I guess Tiffany Stratton got sick, so she wasn't able to compete in this match. So they got Candace Laray, which I found was really odd. And Candace Laray was the one that got the pinfall. I was like, what? Caught me insanely off guard. So you had Indy Hartwell on ringside. Indy Hartwell attacks Bayley while the ref's back is turned. And then Candace LeRae takes advantage, hits a little moonsault, 1, 2, 3, pins Bayley out of nowhere. And I'm like, what? She caught me insanely off guard. Nia Jax is like, raise my hand. Forget her. Raise my hand, bro. I won this match. I'm like, bro, Candace took the W for you, Nia. But yeah, it caught me off guard. This is really shocking to see Candace pick up a victory, especially over Bayley, man. Match 7 is coming up between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. It's going to be going down next week. And they had another brawl backstage. It was supposed to be a civil interview with Byron Saxton, but they cut him off and they ended in a brawl, and they had to be split up again. And then they would later interview LA Knight, and LA Knight, I guess, is going to be the special guest referee for this match to call it down the middle because he hates both men evenly, so he's not going to favor any side here. If anything, he'll probably throw some right hands in this match. I'm looking forward to match 7. It ought to be good, and it ought to turn into a triple threat at Crown Jewel. If I had to guess, definitely going to be a triple threat for the U.S. title, probably. And to top off the show here, Roman Reigns said he was going to acknowledge acknowledge Solo Sikoa, but he did not. Once Solo Sikoa said, "Acknowledge me as your tribal chief," Roman was like, "Why? Why should I? Or what?" And then Solo's like, "I knew it. I knew you were the same person." So it was all a trap. The rest of the bloodline came out. They had already beat up Jimmy Uso, so they dragged his body out. And then it was the same ending to SmackDown, just like last week. I thought for sure, I'm like, yep, here comes Jay. Here comes Jay with a steel chair to even up the odds. Nope, didn't happen. Did not happen. Roman Reigns is still a chief without a tribe, and he gets beat up and laid out again by the bloodline. He did get the Unifala on for a second, but it didn't last very long. The numbers caught up to Roman Reigns, and he got taken out again. This episode of SmackDown moved really well, and I thought it was pretty good. I am going to give it a high 6, though. My favorite moment was seeing Jey Uso and Roman Reigns go face-to-face backstage, and my favorite match was the Triple Threat Tag Team match with DIY, Street Profits, and Pretty Deadly. This match was amazing. Yes, that was SmackDown. That was Raw, WWE Action Figure Setup Style. If you guys enjoyed this video, I do this every single Saturday morning, so stay tuned for it. Turn on notifications so you don't miss it. If you miss a Raw, if you miss a SmackDown, check out the Weekend Review. This is Bretto Live, signing freaking out, baby.